back here for the spoiler version of CAKview here with Danny Ray and Carl.
What's up?
And this is going back to Doctor Strange 2 here. If you're joining us, if you skipped over, want to go to the spoiler section, don't forget to join us on patreon.com/the CAK. That's THECAK. Definitely be a Patreon. Appreciate it. Everything on there is free, by the way. All our old content, absolutely free. But you can always support us for $1 a day, because anything we can do, we're just going to use it to support. So one of the things I want to do actually as a podcast host is be a little more forthcoming of what I do with that money. It should be for what the hell I want. But I think I want to use it to explain, like, I use it to buy this for the podcast. I want you to buy you're actually helping me support, because I don't think no one really does that as much. That they know their money, because some of it is just income for them to live, because that's what they do for work. But I'm not using this for work right now as much as I would love to. I'd love to get to that level, but I digress. But let's first and foremost get to the most important question of the spoilers that I want to get to is how adorable Shumagorath was. So I really want to get this off my chest. And Shumagorath, I don't care if it's Gargantos, because the people that hold the IP over Conan the Barbarian hold that name. That's fucking Shumagorath, number one, because he's not a deep sea creature. It's an interdimensional demon, and that is pure Lovecraft. And Shumagorath, we all know, we all agree. Done. Yeah. Cool. But when he was terrified when Doctor Strange split the bus, and he just went kind of startled, and then he has first tentacle left off, he was like, oh, the look of fear. He was so adorable. That's all I need to say. Any rebuttals?
No.
Oh, excellent.
But I did feel bad for him. I'll say that. Yeah. I really feel bad for him.
He was on a mission and he didn't.
Yeah. The only thing that would have been funnier is if his contact fell out.
Oh my God. He starts looking for, you're in the wrong business, Carl.
I believe so.
You're in the wrong, but dude, actually, let's get to that death scene. Not only does it go, the light post go through its eye, it rips the eyeball out. And I laughed so hard in the theater of how great and gory that scene was. I knew what it was like when you get on a ride and then that one tickle in your tummy to let you know how great this ride is going to be. That was that moment.
I wasn't laughing, but I was staring at the screen
See, that was that moment for me where I'm like, oh shit, this is really going to be a Sam Raimi movie. He really did it. They let him do this.
Here we go, and it went from, it's another fun Marvel, holy shit.
Avengers, here we go.
So here comes the really good question. Let's go right to the heart of it, the way we all want to really talk about cameos, or lack thereof, or weird miscasting. How do we feel in this? Let's start with, let's go down the roster of our cameos. Let's start with Black Bolt, the actor from he was in Inhumans.
Anson Mount.
Anson, thank you. Yeah. But they put him in a proper costume, and that don't watch that show. It's garbage.
He looked awesome in the movie, though.
He looked badass in the movie. I had to squint him. I saw his eyes. So I was like, holy crap, they pulled that trigger. So our feelings on Black Bolt. Anyone chime in?
I want more.
I
actually want an Inhumans movie now.
Well, they remember it was actually the third tier of the Infinity Wars. I remember they announced in the Inhumans, and then that just got swept on the rug.
Yeah, they just got rid of it because they're like, oh, we're going to put it as a TV show. And you mean, we know how well that worked.
Yeah, because they're following up Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I got some way through, and I was enjoying it. And then it was like every other show was just like...
Yeah, it lost me after the third or fourth season. I don't remember which one.
Yeah, it is what it is. So it's apparently canon to the universe, but it's its own universe. It was okay. It was enjoyable. Did you ever see any of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? So remember when our buddy Carl Coulson died in Avengers 1, when Loki ended up stabbing him, and he had the bloody card of Captain America. This is in the ship. He was Coulson. He was he was the second underneath freaking Nick Fury.
Okay, remember, hun? I'm face blind.
I know. I know what you mean. So anyway, he was a guy. So he was he was the sweetheart, who was kind of his own cool, level-headed badass for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
And so in the Agent of Shield, he's resurrected back from the dead. So-
I'll be honest, love. I'm probably the least useful person for this section. of
Don't worry, don't worry. It was the least. It was the least useful show for the MCU. So
I'm
there I
just saying,
said
like,
it.
there's very few
I mean,
cameos that I'm actually going to recognize.
it was fun, but they did good and did bad with characters. We won't get into that anymore. But go back to the cameo. So Black Bolt. Yeah, no, I'm glad they approached this. You know, his power of his, his supersonic scream. But the way they used it to kill him.
Oh my god.
Oh,
What
that
mouth?
guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
that guy.
You should have just.
The guy with a tuning fork on his head.
Yeah.
How about that?
See, you're over here like, oh, it's this actor.
It's
and
okay.
It's in this show. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
faces. You
Well,
should have been like, well, this character
Okay,
in the movie.
so your reaction to the guy who caved in his own skull?
Yeah.
After-
Okay.
After he got like,
Okay.
after he became like Thomas Anderson in the interrogation room in the Matrix.
So yeah, okay, all right. So I will say I didn't know the character beforehand. I will say that, but I liked him in the movie. I thought it was.
Oh, yeah.
I liked
he was fucking awesome.
Well, I'll say his was the least graphic death.
it. Yeah.
Like for being very violent, it was the least graphic.
Just seeing a skull cave in on itself, that was pretty
That
to me.
Well, I'm just saying,
Oh,
going
I
off
mean,
of like
in
the
the
other
grand
things you
scale.
saw, yeah,
in the
like
grand scale.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
let's move
definitely
on
the least
to
gory.
let's move on to Mariah Rambeau going on Photon becoming Captain America.
Was it
Sorry,
Mariah
I'm
or
sorry,
is it
I kept-
Monica? Wasn't it Monica Rambeau?
Monica is it Monica Rambeau? All right, hold on. Now I have to look at it. I keep getting lost. It's Photon.
But I liked her too.
Yeah. So we'll call it Mama Rambeau. So yeah, her as I'm sorry, I say Captain America. Let's say Captain Marvel. How do we feel on that?
I liked her more as Captain Marvel than Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Like I think she looks like she could hold her own against pretty much anybody.
Well, Shauna Lynch is a great. Hold on. I need to double check something real quick because I think I remember her.
Wait,
being
was she the one who took over as 007?
Was she?
Well, yes and no. Yeah, she's the one that took over 007. Yes and no. Well, I won't spell anything. Well, fuck the Bond movies.
Yeah, it's been out for like a year or two.
Let's just say yes at the end of that argument. Yeah, she I felt like she was a little more upper power. Or maybe I don't know how many years she's been Captain Marvel at that point, but yeah, she seemed a little more powerful. Like
Yeah.
power grade was up.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't catch who that statue was that was pulled upon her.
I didn't either, like, because I was too focused on the after effect of it.
I just know it was a woman. I thought I saw like a sword or something, and I was like, it was really quick, and I need to go back and see it because I didn't know if that was going to be a reference tool or not. Because again, Easter eggs all over the place. But yeah, no, she was awesome. But let's go to another MVP that we're happy to see, and then happy not to see anymore. Captain Carter. We like the crowd pop. And actually, so this was another thing you and I were talking about with the spoilers. They just throw her fucking shield in the middle of like one of the trailers, and we're just like, come on, we wanted the surprise. It's a fan thing we wanted to see.
Yeah.
And she did have the classic, Steve Rogers line, "I can do this all day."
I was so glad she
It's-
had that line.
and
I
spit
was
blood
so
during
happy.
Yeah.
I do agree though. Like, what irritates me about having seen it in the trailer, not just that I know it's coming, but I find out it's only there for like this much of the movie.
Yeah.
And not
What?
even like she appears, she does what she's got to do, and then she's off to the side until later. Fucking dies.
I wouldn't mind if like some of them died and then like some survived and then came back and then like still died again like later on.
No, I'm honestly mad
That they're
that they
Oh.
died. Like I get it for the sake of the story. Like it makes sense.
yeah, she's laying waste on the entire like
Right.
I
and the
did have a
trailer builds
question
it up,
about
like,
her
"You're gonna
death."
See these people, it's gonna be awesome. They're gonna be here. Oh, and yeah, they're only gonna be here for like 10 minutes and then they're gonna die.
See, I did have a question about her death because you know how like the shield gets thrown at her and she gets pretty much cut right in half.
Yeah.
wasn't there a couple times in the previous like Avengers movies where Steve had his shield thrown right back at him and he caught it like
I
that?
yeah, I think it's because of like the magic that the chaos magic on it added a little
Okay.
like oof to it. Cause like that thing came whipping through her, and then like as I said to her, I go, she became Gary Busey in Predator 2. You know,
Ugh.
like, with the drone just same oh, of course I was always confused about that because the legs dropped, but the top half of them never landed. But anyways,
That's just Gary Busey.
yeah, it's Gary. He has to be obnoxious about that. But no, it was cool to see Captain Kirk. By the way, one of my friends was like, "It was that the Star Wars reference in the film?" I was like, "What?" And he goes, "She had a Mandalorian jetpack." And I was like, "I have to look again at that jetpack she had." I go, "Was it the man? Was it Mandalore?"
Well, see, I wasn't sure where you're going with that. I thought you were gonna go with the whole cut in half, kind of like the Darth Maul kind of thing. Like, is she gonna come back with robot legs?
Oh, Captain Carter with robot with Ultron legs. Oh yeah, that's brilliant. I'm just picturing la 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 la.
Imagine like they actually are Ultron too. She's like, all right, let's stop this bad guy now. No, Ultron
Mhm.
commands you not do that.
Right. So let's talk about our boy John Krasinski.
Yeah, the fact
The
that he hasn't been in he hasn't gotten the lead in the actual Fantastic Four movie yet is so disappointing to me.
so I've been hearing chatter, which is because Watts left being the director for that project, the original director for the Spider-Man trilogy. He was going to do Fantastic Four. We're like, oh shit, he's going to do a great job of this. He left because he's taking a break. I'm sitting there going, is Krasinski going to direct?
See, that would be awesome.
I
Like,
I wonder if that might have been a pitch to him and saying, hey, since you're a big fan of this anyways, and we want to go with someone younger, which I can understand.
but my only thing is I do worry that like we know Disney and Marvel has gone that route where they're like, yeah, see, this was actually Ralph Boner.
Oh god.
No, not Reed Richards. So
Oh, son of a bitch, that really I mean, that was the biggest like kick in the nuts of all time. And I'm sitting there going, that's what I was like, please bring him back in Multiverse of Madness the correct way. But maybe they said, all right, actually, I'll save that the rest of that comment for later on. Um, but yeah, like so fantastic. What did you see the original? Like not like the 2015, the other ones. They were the first one was like fun. You're like, oh, this is great,
we
you
don't
know.
speak of the 2015 one here.
The 2015 never existed. Like that's the bottom of the shit barrel for like anything.
That's worse than that early 90s one they did.
Oh God, yeah, don't.
Yeah, you're
Yeah, like
welcome.
the Doctor Strange one they did.
Oh, God.
and
Or
and
Captain America.
but the Captain, there's a special place in my heart for that because I remember like renting that on VHS as a little kid and seeing like Red Skull, and that looked scary to me as a little kid. But
Yeah, because he looked like a melted candle.
he did. That's exactly as you pictured it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, John Krasinski. So with so in fan theory, like when it comes to people going, we want this actor to play this role, John Krasinski, we were like him and his real life wife would have been the real life couple of Sue Storm and Reed Richards, and everyone's been campaigning for years, so that was why the crowd went nuts at that point. Was holy shit, they gave us a fan, like they just tossed us a bone pretty much.
Right, yeah.
Um,
I feel like that's exactly what that entire scene
mhm.
was just throwing the fans a bone.
See, I'm still confused when he showed up. Like, did he? Because like, think about it. He just like showed up out of nowhere. Like he almost teleported there. How did that even happen?
I didn't. I have to go back and look. I thought he kind of whipped himself into that seat.
Well, that's why I was confused. Like, I think I was just like, as soon as I saw him, I was just kind of like the oh shit moment
Well,
where I just kind of forgot like about like how we got there.
well, like it was like when he showed up on the screen, I went drip drip in my pants because I was just like, and what was the content? I don't know. It doesn't even matter. It was just I got wet for John Krasinski wearing the big 4 on his chest and seeing that. It was just like it took like it would took me over. I was just like, ah, this is what I needed. Now I can go. Now I can go to bed happy. But then again, like he got spaghettied out as as one should underneath the chaos magic. But if no one has anything else to say on Krasinski,
Yeah, go ahead.
and Charles Xavier coming in to the theme from the X-Men 97 fucking cartoon series with the yellow chair, with the green suit, with the wall. And I marked out too, as soon as you saw the brainwaves coming out of the head, I was like, you are just giving us what we exactly want. As like my childhood little self came out of my chest and went, yay, and waved flags.
So I'm gonna go ahead and guess, Carl, that it was John Krasinski you were talking about in the non-spoiler section.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I was honestly thinking of Charles Xavier, because like that was kind of a disappointment for me, the fact that he died.
Oh,
That was like, it
yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense again. Like, I believe it.
We already watched him die like 3 times, well, 2 times at least.
I was gonna say, like,
how many times
like,
have we seen him die? Patrick Stewart?
especially seeing Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier. Like, after watching him die here, like, this was probably the least disappointing one. It's like I had to watch him in all the Fox movies. Come on.
I honestly have not seen the X-Men trilogy in so long, or any of the X-Men movies in so long.
X-Men trilogy. There's like, how many of them?
Yeah.
Like 7 of them.
Look. See, this is my inexperience showing. This is my Marvel de-average knowledge. Like, shielding his face in shame.
No, there's something else.
What?
I might break Carl with this. Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier dying is the Marvel's version of the Wayne family dying.
Oh God.
Okay, so I get it now.
How many times?
Okay,
Oh,
so
God.
I'm not disappointed anymore, if that's basically how it is.
No, he's Charles Xavier as Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier dying is Marvel's version of Wayne's parents getting fucking killed in the alley.
Right, okay.
God.
I'm not disappointed anymore then.
Carl, argue with me. Am I wrong?
No, I mean, I'll still give Warner Brothers more of a hard time with that, because his, like, the death scenes in Warner Brothers are exactly the same every single time. At least Xavier's gotten,
He's
obliterated, got his neck snapped. He's died pretty much every way you can possibly die.
Fucking adamantium blades to the chest. Yeah. No, that's neck snap though. That like made me jump and just go, Jesus Christ. And then it cuts to him with his head turning. Like her coming out of that red smoke and it cuts to that. Oh my God, that got me.
It was just that transition.
That is my lack of Marvel knowledge, my missing Marvel background. Because I haven't seen that, or at least I don't remember. They
killed him a bunch of times. Well, you've seen Logan with me. Yeah, so that's one of many times.
That's right. I forgot about that one.
But see, what made me happy that it was the X-Men 97 version of Xavier was the fact that, like, the Fox version of Xavier always has like ulterior motives and always had the like slight like evil kind of side to him.
Yep.
Like the cartoon version of him always saw the good in everybody, which is what, like, there was really no redemption for Wanda at the point where he knew her in the movie. And he still tried to save her, even though he knew he had like no chance.
I will say, I loved that entire scene visually.
Oh, yeah.
Visually speaking, when he's in her mind and Wanda's trapped under the rubble, and it's the Scarlet Cloud coming in.
Was I the only one who expected, like, after she like disappeared in the rubble, like expected something else to like pop out through there?
Yeah, that's what made me jump.
Did.
That's what made me jump when she came out of the cloud, because I was expecting him to turn to the cloud and then her coming out of the darkness and grabbing him,
Yeah.
I think it's because of the jump scares we were talking about.
Yeah.
Especially that fucking sewer scene Like,
Oh.
Oh my god.
Where you're
That's-
expecting her through the door and she just comes from the side, and I was
Exactly.
God.
I was expecting the door to break.
That-
I was like, the door's gonna break and she's gonna burst through. She just like
So,
"Shh." I went.
I compared it to one thing, and it wasn't just like that. The jump scare of like, I know you haven't seen this, but you've seen Insidious, right, Carl?
"Oh yeah,
Lipstick Man scene where he's sit, Darth Maul sitting behind her. And
oh
then
yeah."
that was like that, like, oh Jesus, stop that. Don't ever do that again. I'm
Yeah.
a proper lady. How would you
Yeah.
do that to me?
But then you go and watch it again, and you're like, "Yep, got me again."
Or like the freaking
Man. It's the timing.
that scene in Loki with Miss Minutes.
Oh,
Like, you know
and she comes up,
something's coming,
Oh.
and she goes up,
hi, and you're like, Jesus. It was like it was
so
the
perfect.
it was like the jump scare that was not meant to be a jump scare. It was such a great moment because I remember both you and I jumped.
No, that was definitely meant to be a jump
Well,
scare.
well, I
That
mean,
totally.
well,
They did
no,
that on
no,
purpose.
no, they did it
wanted you
as
to shit
purpose to be a
yourself.
jump scare. But it's like she's not there to go, ah, she's just hi, like, gee, what the fuck you doing?
Right.
It's the scene in those films where you open the door and you're expecting the monster, and your friend just happens to be, for some reason, standing off the side of the door. It's like, hey, buddy, and he's holding the beers up, and you're like, oh my god, what are you?
Yeah.
Why were you just around the corner when you knocked on the door, not standing in front of me, you moron?
By the way, you did forget one member of the Illuminati. You forgot Mordo.
Yeah. So, actually,
yeah.
yes, that was actually on my next list here is Mordo as Supreme Mordo. How do we feel on that? Where the current Mordo that's supposed to be on the hunt. Actually, well, we'll get into that. That's a part 2 on that. Part 1. How do we feel about this Mordo?
I felt like he was the exact same guy. Like there was really no difference between the two. Because like, yeah, I'm gonna try to be friendly with Strange, but you know what? I really can't stand him. I just want to kill him.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's the whole thing. It's
Just
like
different reasons.
like Strange has always got like a negative side to him in every multiverse. I think that's what was with him doing the Darkhold was I'm going to embrace it instead, which is why now when he has the third eye, he's like, I'm in control of this shit. I'm in control of my he became in control of his demons. Like when Christine gave him the shit about you're the only one that always has to hold the knife. Why?
Yeah.
Why? And then the demons of, did you really make the right choice? Are you always happy? He's fighting his own fucking demons. And then he literally fought fucking demons
Yep.
and then made himself that. Oh my God. It came full circle. Oh my God.
I do really like. I really appreciate that every universe he went. I know we're going off topic here, but I do like that no matter what universe he went to, he fucked it up with Christine. It's just done.
It's like with What If too, same thing.
Yeah, exactly. But like I love that, but at the same time, it would have been kind of cool for him to find one universe where him and Christine did work out and he kind of understands Wanda from that emotional standpoint of holy shit, I want this too now. And of course
that would have been good actually.
Of course it
he
wouldn't have had to go to the same lengths or officially be on her side. But if he like took a moment, if he found a universe like this where he had what he wanted and just had that moment of holy shit, this is what Wanda feels.
So instead of repeating that moment, do you feel it would have been better to kind of like reflect that the same way as we talk about mirror dimensions and everything, mirrors and reflections and whatnot? And I like this a great insightful thought onto us. But you had that moment with Christine where he says, I can finally tell you that I love you no matter what universe you're in. But also he's accepting that I can't be with you as well. Yeah. Maybe like to kind of close it off for him,
Honestly, if he did find before that Christine, if he found one universe where everything between him and Christine worked out, I feel like it would have made this scene a lot stronger when he says that. Because then he's accepting that, you know, his own life, his own universe is his reality. It doesn't matter that it worked out in this universe. He needs to accept his own reality.
Just to play devil's advocate to all that, I feel like the way that like writers go about things is they would go, especially with Strange's character, is he would think he found that version of Christine, and then like later on you'd find out that she had the Darkhold the whole time, and that she was actually controlling him.
Holy fuck, dude! You're Dark
like,
Man, and he's still Dark Man like Sam Raimi, but you're a dark comma man.
Yeah, I just have a feeling like that's the way they would go with it, just because I don't think it was ever meant to be. I think that's the whole point. Like in any universe.
Right, and that is a good point. And I'm not saying that it takes from the movie in any way. It's just a thought that I had. If I was writing the movie, I would have thrown in a scene like that.
Oh yeah.
And that's not again, it's not saying that the movie is any worse for not doing that. It's just a thought.
Yeah, even and my cat Darwin's coming in here to say his 2 bits with his 25 toes slamming into the ground here. Thunderpaws over here with his marshmallow murder mittens. So before we move on to the thing I was about to actually transition this conversation to address Mordo, quick question. We were talking about, I think that you and I were talking about this before. I might have been talking to myself in my dream last night, because I was dreaming about this movie last night and debating myself just because this movie really got me. Was when he says, "Oh, Mordo, he's been trying to hunt me since." I go, number one, did he get snapped away and come back? We don't know. Number two, the only fucking sorcerer we know he killed was the one guy who was just walked away and was just happy to play basketball, with his friends.
Right.
The one mechanic. And I go, has Mordo killed others? Do they have a protection spell around Cumberbatch that keeps Mordo away? Is that what's going on, or what are they doing?
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? He left like on a fucking hunt to, too many sorcerers, but they still have a bunch of sorcerers. Did they just go and just tell me that you just put a protection spell over everybody and Mordo still can't figure it out?
See, I look at it this way. I think he went and took on Iron Fist, the protector of Conlon, who always gave it up. So I'm guessing that's where he went. He's just chilling there now. So
that might be actually a dope way to introduce the new Iron Fist. But so the transition point, which when we talk about Doctor Strange's love, and also the springboard effect you were thinking of how this film is that first cut scene with Charlize Theron. I didn't even recognize Charlize in that scene. I didn't realize that was her. And I know.
I realized it was her. I just it didn't hit me who she was playing till you messaged me, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's fucking Clea. So in the comics, for anyone just know, so with Clea, who ends up becoming Strange's wife, she's the sorcerer supreme of the dark dimension, which if you've seen the first Doctor Strange movie, Dormammu is there. It's actually his niece, which has this weird kind of like Thanos with his daughters kind of deal situation, but it's a legit niece. And it's I just love, like, she's like, oh, we have this incursion in our realm because you fuck things up. So now it's almost like he has to go and maybe protect the dark dimension, possibly like Dormammu, I'm here to make another bargain. I'm here to fix your shit that I fucked up. One thing actually I learned recently, and I didn't know about this, was that I know Benedict Cumberbatch did the voice of Doramu, but it's originally supposed to be Tony Todd.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I found out about this recently. It's supposed to be Tony Todd originally. They were going to tap him, and then they went with Doctor Strange to kind of hint that maybe Dormammu is a variant of Doctor Strange in the Dark Dimension, which would make it weird because then he would marry his niece. But anyways, we will not talk about incest in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Never.
Doctor Strange, Game of Thrones.
Well, that's what I felt about Loki and Sylvie. That was very, very Game of Thrones, nearly. Uh,
That's different though. That was just himself. There's plenty of people in the world who love
well,
themselves.
you
Yes,
know,
it's
So
just masturbation. It's fine.
yeah,
Not incest.
it's like Billy Idol, like Loki's dancing with himself, but we'll just replace the verb with something else.
yeah.
But regardless of the fact, so the springboard point that we're looking at right now is the next big, and I want to get back to a few other little tidbits too. There's one that I want to get Danny on too, because I wrote a bunch of notes on things. The springboard going from here is eventually Secret Wars. Do we think that, Carl?
Oh yeah. I mean, they didn't really hint at it as much as I thought they would.
Yeah.
I mean, I know like they're gonna bring America Chavez into a lot more movies, and like we joked about in the theaters, when the temple came crushing down on Scarlet Witch, and some people are like, oh, they're not gonna kill her off like that. And it's like, yeah, you're damn right, they're not. She
Yeah.
signed on for like 10 more movies. Like,
So one of
but
the things I was thinking. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, no, go ahead.
So one of the things I was thinking about was now that they're toying around, oh, there's multiple universes and all the stories and wild things they can tell. Why not start creating some of the MCU films in the other, like, the other fucking multiverses, in the other multiverses they have out there, and then that's how we transition the X-Men and everyone else over, is pulling them into Battle World, and then when they separate, they pull them into our 616 realm or a new universe, whoever they want to do it. Is like you're actually incorporating everybody into it. So as they do any backstories to people, you don't know. You think, well, what the fuck? It's almost like Moon Knight. They're kind of starting to give you that DID kind, like, what am I dreaming? Am I hallucinating? Kind of deal. I don't know. They want to go that deep with it, but enough that they can potentially create backstories and developmental characters in other multiverses, and then get everyone excited. So instead of like, oh, we're going to build the X-Men in 616, they build them into other, like, 742 or whatever. And when Battle World happens, so with Secret Wars, it is the collision between dimensions cause all these variants to team up, like good and evil, and have an ultimate battle in this world against each other.
Yeah.
And that's actually where we get Venom too. Um, if I remember right, the black suit, the symbiote suit for Spider-Man, but that's also where Miles gets pulled over too. And like, there's so many stories on that, but maybe like the build up to that is, instead of, okay, you got all these people in one universe, like what we did with the original trilogy, the Infinity War, is instead you have everyone in different dimensions building their own story, and then they all get pulled into Secret Wars, and that's our big thing with all of them, like, going for. What do you think, Carl?
Well, see, I think I could definitely see them going that road. And I know like a lot of people are going to want them to lead off with like, like give me another origin story of like Iron Man. But if they do that, give me the real Iron Man. Like Robert Downey Jr., it was hard not to love him. Like Iron Man in the comics is a dick. Like he is.
Give me the hard alcoholic.
Yeah, it's like you need Elon Musk as a semi superhero.
Yeah, right.
Like, where it's like, you have so much money and you just buy things to buy things. Like, I can't stand anything about you. Like, but no, I can definitely see him going that road, especially because they could almost do it as like a TV series. Like, they don't have to make it a movie. Like, give me a 1 hour TV show of like an origin story for each of the new Avengers. Like,
kind of like the what if, but like a what if of the what if variants.
yeah, like you could give me another
Ooh.
yeah, you could do like a new Steve Rogers. You could do all of them. Like,
I was just gonna.
I know we have what if season 2, but sorry, go ahead, Dave.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Carl. I was thinking, like, yeah, if they're doing new origin stories for all of the Avengers, especially if they're going like a horror route, yeah, I would agree. It would work really well as like a 1 hour episode series. One episode per Avenger would be a lot easier to sit down and watch, as opposed to just the different origin stories as movies.
because then you could wait like it would be over like because they'd film it and then we'd watch it because they'll still release like an episode a week, but it'd be 10 weeks instead of waiting 10 years to build up to an Avengers.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Plus, I feel like me personally, and this isn't against Marvel in any way, but Disney has been relying a lot on remakes, especially live action remakes, and it's getting really, really old. Like, it got old quick. So, like, I feel like even with the tweaks, even with interesting new actors and storylines and stuff like that, me personally, if I feel like I'm going to watch a whole new Iron Man origin movie, I don't know if I have it in me.
To be
Well,
fair,
I
the
mean,
first
like,
Iron
that's
Man
just-
movie came out like 15 years ago now.
Oh no, I understand that, but like,
why would you say that?
I know, right?
maybe-
Oh, why would you say that?
maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't have like the childhood attachment to Marvel that you do.
Can you please pass me my Centrum Silver?
Like, how many Spider-Mans have we had between them?
Well,
How many
that's-
Batmans have
well,
we
no,
had
that's
between
But I
true.
them?
mean, like, that's what I loved about Tom Holland Spider-Man is because we didn't get the spider bite that Tom Holland did.
Well,
We
yeah.
didn't see it on screen,
So
and
you-
that's what
so-
made it.
So you're
really
talking about just
fun.
a retelling of, like, well, without skipping over the kind of
Right,
BS. No,
right.
absolutely, no. You
But
can
what
do
I'm
that.
what I'm saying is that, like, I would love to see the variations of the origin stories, just more as TV show
Well-
as opposed to movie.
Well, no, we agree, 100%.
That's just
that-
that was the point of what I was saying. If I have to go through
Oh, we
the
wholeheartedly.
entire
Oh no,
path again.
we wholeheartedly agree. No, that's the
Right,
whole point.
right.
Is we're thinking about the development of this to get to the main event.
Yep,
That's the
yep.
whole thing, is to create films that are the main event of what's coming up. But yeah, with Battle World, to have everyone like to come up to that's the next big thing, where instead of, oh, it's good versus evil, it's a mix of good and evil against one another. You know, that's like the big threat. And so always having the big baddie, it's like you literally have almost kind of that Game of Thrones sense where certain people are just joining different sides. But yeah, that's one thing I was looking at. That now, one thing I think we need to address now
Mm.
to kind of lighten it up is some people have been complaining about the final cutscene of this film, and I think it's probably, I rank it as one of my top 5 actually, and that's Bruce Campbell, Papa Pizza. After 3 weeks of beating the shit out of himself, this is another thing it hit me when I got home. And Carl, so you've seen Evil Dead, right? Of course.
Yeah.
All the thing is Evil Dead 2 is Possessed Hand.
Oh God. You know what? That would make sense because it was only one hand. Like
It's a homage to his. So Evil Dead 2, the Bruce Campbell, who we saw probably.
I got the idea.
Yeah, he ends up, his hand becomes possessed and fights him, so he ends up having to cut it off and then turns into, like, puts a chainsaw on it instead. So is the fact is his possessed hand has come back to fight him again,
I
but for
love it.
3 weeks.
There was something that I really wanted to say for a while now about this movie, but I wasn't sure if it counts as spoilers, but pizza balls.
Okay, so pizza balls. How do we make them?
I kind of want to try them, and at the
I-
same time, I hope
they looked delicious. I'm
We
not gonna lie.
We should
They
we should
did.
look online if people are currently like developing this after.
You
the
know what? I really want to see those. There's a YouTube series, like, it's a try not to eat challenge, and they'll go with a theme. I think they have done like Marvel food before, but they've done, like, one of my favorite ones is the Studio Ghibli.
The Studio Ghibli series was great.
Yeah.
All
So
of it looked good.
I'm expecting the pizza balls to be on that episode in the next year.
I just
maybe
love, like, we have a
two.
street vendor, Papa John's, but it's Papa Pizza. Yeah,
Papa Pizza.
Papa Pizza. He's like, no, you're supposed to pay me. Like, and again, I that's one thing I wanted to address. I love that, actually, that idea of, like, trying to create that's your new project now.
Really,
You have to now develop the pizza ball. Yeah, you're gonna do it anyways. I'm making you do it. I like her. Look at now. She knows does not argue on that because she knows she wants to try it. She has a challenge. It's not a challenge. She will accept because she knows deep down inside. Notice the nodding of her head. She's gonna want to do it because she's a great fucking cook, and I can tell you that 1,000 times over. But it's also gonna be a workout for her as well. But going back to Bruce Campbell. So word has it was because there was this weird interview with him saying, "Oh, there are some scenes cut and refilmed." So I think, from what I understand, from what I've read in the interviews, is that they did actually film a scene with him as Balder the Brave, which is another brother to Thor. So they filmed him with that, and I guess it didn't land. And they were like, "Well, this cuts out the pacing of the film." But Sam Raimi's like, "But we got to keep fucking Bruce Campbell, And it's like, how do we do this? And Bruce Campbell's like, I know what, let's do Evil Dead 2 since we're doing that in the film. But let's have him possess my hand, have it beat the shit out of me for 3 weeks. I'm just hoping that was the pitch in the meeting. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. Because Bruce Campbell came back for reshoots. And I'm thinking that's exactly what that was.
Oh, of course.
I love that it ends with like, oh, and turns to the camera, it's over. Like that's like one of my all-time favorite like cut scenes in the end. I don't care what anyone says, to me in my heart, that was everything I ever wanted.
That was freaking great. It was so funny because we were actually talking about him during the credits. And we're like, oh yeah, it's hilarious. He made his hand beat himself up for 3 weeks, and then he pops up, it's over.
Both exclaiming his relief for himself, and then just ending the like. It was as similar as to like the Captain America PSAs, like So you're expecting, but that, and also I equivalent to both the end of Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Deadpool 1, where he did Ferris Bueller's Day Off. What are you doing here? It's over. Not going home. But no, you need to pick up all your shit. I did appreciate that. So one quick thing I did want to shout out though was with Wanda. This one of my gripes actually. This reason why it's spoilers is Cthulhu is such a big deal as a villain. Because he's the one that wrote the Darkhold, this big demon. He was like, it's pretty much like kind of like Cthulhu, but Cthulhu,
Right.
So those 4 demon soldiers that you saw were pretty much how he kind of looks like. And I was wishing they just said it's the guards of Cthulhu or the soldier of Cthulhu or something. But they never mentioned him. Instead, they just, what are these fucking hulking beasts are there? And I go, can someone just say Cthulhu, please? That's all I want, because he's the one that created the whole concept of the Scarlet Witch to be born. Like Agatha Harkness said that. She was bringing that up. I was like, shit, we're going to get Cthulhu. And then not that, instead, like, freaking freaking Wondagore fucking crumbles down around her, which we know she's not gone. But I had, that was my gripe.
You know what though? I feel like that's probably gonna leave the door open for one of the later films.
Well,
because we know Wanda's not
Cthulhu's
dead.
still out there.
Yeah, we know Wanda's not dead. So that could be a pretty interesting consequence. Like, she destroyed that entire temple. She destroyed all of the Darkhold copies in every universe. And, imagine she's trying to distance herself again and just avoid causing trouble.
So you think that pissed off Cthulhu now, who's
right?
And as we talk about with Moon Knight, with all the gods, they live in another dimension. Like the gods, these gods are not like actual.
So now we have heroes dealing with gods. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah, we had that in Moon Knight. That could absolutely be something that Wanda has to deal with as well. We already got the hint that freaking Doctor Strange has to deal with Doramu again. Like it.
So potentially we could have Cthulhu resurrect, like like Wanda maybe, or tapping on.
Is he dead or is he just?
Because they know he's a god in like in the
Right.
outer dimension. So
Right.
like certain
Well-
gods, it's weird. They have a weird pantheon. The Marvel pantheon is very much even crazier than Lovecraft.
Right.
says.
But I think I
Well,
think I like the thought of Wanda having to deal with.
I was gonna say, like, since you brought up one of your biggest gripes, I'm backtracking a little bit on this.
Mhm.
But one of my biggest ones from this entire movie, like I mentioned, John Krasinski, like they wasted that. One of the biggest wasted ones. This was the one where I was like, oh, it could be one, it could be many. The Ultron bots, and they made that one mention where he's like Ultron bot not
Yeah.
functioning, and I was like, you got to be kidding me, because
Yeah.
at first, like when we showed that in the trailer, I was like, okay, they got to be they got to be part of the Iron Legion or something.
Yeah, that's the whole point. I thought that was that would have been great. Like we were talking about early, like after the film, it would have been great to have Jason Spader, I'm sorry, Jason Spader come up and be, let's just say he's like like Ultron Command,
Yeah.
like, just sit there and just go, why are my bots dying? And it's just him, and then I would have a laugh even just if him like looking and just like seeing his bots being destroyed and going, oh, for God's sakes, just as a callback to that, I would have taken that a little bit, but yeah, no, like this is the shield around the world.
Yeah, but I just look at it, it's like, okay, so we got Ultron wasted twice now.
Agreed.
2 times. I mean, third time's a charm, right? Like we got to get them right one time.
I
Like
think that goes back to what we were saying earlier, that the trailer really builds up these tiny wasted moments.
especially how they, like the last trailer when they like, oh, you're gonna see the Illuminati, which, like I told you guys, is like the bitch Avengers, like the great value Avengers, like
the great it was no, that's the quote. That's the quote that we were looking for. The great value Avengers, because they were so cocky as shit. They were all fucking Tony Stark cocky as shit, and then they all got their ass whipped. Holy crap! Like it was ridiculous.
I told you they didn't have a Hawkeye.
Yeah, we always needed a Hawkeye, and Hawkeye series is so great. So there's actually an arc. I actually have to step away for 1 second from the camera, but I want to actually take a moment to let Dani talk on this with you, because spoilers. So when we dropped you off and we were coming home, there was a 7-car pileup on the exit to get on our way back to Route 6.
Oh, lovely.
Ooh, child, there was missing.
Really,
I just want to set this up as, no, when I talk about 7-car pileup, I mean there was like nothing of cars. So we were sitting in traffic for 45 minutes on the way back, and Dani Ray made a great point about something. Like it was one of those, like, she hits me, has a voice, and I'm like, what? I'm looking around at the cars. What's going on? Is there a dead body? What the hell? I'm looking around, and she goes, I just realized something. And I'm just going to leave you with 3 names. And I'm just going to step out here real quick, let you guys talk. Hans Christian Andersen. And I will let Dani take the mic, Carl, and I want you to respond to her on this. So,
all right.
The mic is yours, my queen. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask if we had time, but since
we do.
Okay.
You're doing it.
Okay. So
she's doing it.
So I will say that I didn't read the Ice Queen myself, but someone did go into a very brief storyline of the epic fantasy. I think it's like 7 or 8 books. And when she did it, it was to compare it to Frozen, to show us the parallels between the Ice Queen and Disney's remake in the movie Frozen.
Yeah.
And it matches up pretty well. But I realize it actually kind of fits what's going on with Wanda. So do you know the original story of the Ice Queen?
Briefly, like not fully.
I'm gonna say it for the viewers anyway, because this is going online. So for the viewers, essentially the exact creatures will vary depending on which adaptation you read. So sometimes it's demons, sometimes it's goblins, sometimes it's imps. And the one in charge, or the devil himself, or whoever, has this grand idea to create a mirror that only shows you the bad in things. So a beautiful landscape would turn into a hellscape. And the more beautiful a person is, the uglier they will appear in the mirror. So they decide that they're going to take it to heaven and take down God, essentially. So as they're flying up, the mirror ends up falling and breaking, and the shards go everywhere all around the world. And they decide that this is even better. So the story cuts to two little kids, a boy and a girl, who are best friends. And their families just let them hang out like all the time. They're super close. And the little boy at one point gets a shard in his heart, which is apparently the worst because it can actually turn into ice. And he gets another shard in his eye. So now he can't feel love, and he can't recognize his best friend because all he just calls her ugly, and all he sees around him is bad things. And he ends up running into the Ice Queen, who is evil and just sees her as the most beautiful thing ever. So the girl ends up going on this epic quest and does everything she can to bring her friend back, essentially. And when she finds him, he's so close to death. His heart is almost completely frozen, and he still can't see any beauty in the world, in anything around him. So she ends up crying hot tears that penetrate his chest, melt his heart, and it gets rid of the shard in his heart. And then she sings a song that makes him cry, and he ends up crying out the shard of glass. The parallel that I see is with the mirror being the Darkhold. Wanda got a hold of it, and now all she can see is what she's missing. And so she's kind of playing both characters in a way. You know, she's blinded by what she wants, and she's going on this epic journey from universe to universe to find this girl who can get her this power to have the infinite number of families. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
But no, I can definitely see the similarities there.
Yeah.
I mean, Wanda was even a little more darker than that because she was like, "Yeah, you know, if my kid gets sick, she's like, I'll just go steal this from another one." But I think,
right,
but I
exactly.
also, I think she actually had a darker intent than that, where she's like, "Oh, I'll just go to the next universe where they're not sick, and just go steal those kids."
Yeah, exactly.
For both of you being parents, where's the limit? That's actually like one of the challenging things.
See, I look at it as like I'll do anything for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
But if I look at it that way, like she was stealing the kids from herself.
Yeah.
Like doesn't make any sense to me. Like they already had a loving family. Like
right.
And
I think I'm sorry to interrupt you, love, but I think what makes it hard for her to understand the wrong in what she's doing is that by her logic, like she sees herself parenting these kids. So of course it's just going to be her. Her kids are going to see her and they're going to recognize her, and it's going to be fine.
Until
it's not right until she actually sees them and they're terrified. I honestly, I don't know any reasonable parent who would go to these lengths. Usually parents who Like when they lose kids, like there's a number of ways that they can cope with that loss, but stealing kids from someone else or even another version of yourself is just never an option.
So here's the thing that I was about to jump in when you said that. She kind of like cucked herself on this one when she talked to Mr. Fantastic. Was like she's like, "Do you have kids? Do you have wife and kids? Yeah. Oh, well, at least someone will love them." And then kills him. But then she goes, "Well, at least someone will love them." And that's the thing. They do have someone that loves them in every dimension. That was like she had this this like nasty comment to him, which was like, oh, well, he's gonna die now. But turn around and say, like, to say that to him, like, at least that she'll like they'll have a mother to love them. And I know she's coming from her anger, but then she's blinded to the fact that they do. None of them are. But here's also the question here I have for both of you. We've seen the end of WandaVision. We've seen the end cutscene. She heard her children still crying for her. She never found those kids. They were once still calling for her. Was it a lure from someone else, though? All right. I want to continue this. Similar to with Shang-Chi, with his father thinking his wife was calling for him, through the wall and turned out to be demons. Was it demons luring her the whole time to cause this whole catastrophe going on? Was it Cthulhu? Was it someone else pretending to be her children to call out to make her go crazy when there were no kids crying for her?
Do you know what? You want to know what gives that theory a lot more credibility?
What's that?
Is I brought this up during the movie. The common thing with all the different realities we saw with Wanda and her kids, where was Vision?
Yes.
Where was he? You did not
Oh.
see. You did not, and she didn't mention him. Nothing. And like Vision was a.
Where was the father in this? One woman has to live in a single mother.
But WandaVision was all about her like grieving after his death, even like with her kids. Like she needed to know where he was too.
Yeah.
That disappeared.
Was it
like
was there acceptance? Was he still alive and just doing daddy work? Like. Yep.
But I mean,
that was a very damn good question. Is where
like
was
you think she would have tried to find the universe where he still exists or is alive in some kind of capacity? Like,
well, listen, we don't expect her to have 20/20 vision, Carl. Don't throw anything at me. But no, you. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead, hon. Oh, okay. I was gonna say no. You drive like a great thing to the heart was, where was Vision all this? Did she lose Vision in all of this? And if that was so, how come she never lost her children? Or was all those Wandas still in their Wanda Vision and never lost those kids? Like
I would love to know a little bit more about those universes. Like
question. No, go ahead. You can finish. I just have a question after you.
Yeah. Like even if one of the later movies just has Wanda saying like, "Oh yeah, in one of those universes, Vision's still alive, and those are our kids. In another one, I married someone else." And just explaining like all those differences. Like that. I think that would be really, really cool.
Oh, I think we're gonna need it very soon.
See, now I had a very, very dark thought here. Now
you have dark thoughts. I
know it's shocking, right?
But Tom Hardy, who's glistening in this weird light that's only in my room right now, like
he makes the dark thoughts go away.
No, I'm making sure. But anyway, go ahead.
No, but I was thinking because how in What If in the zombie universe, Vision is the one who keeps her alive by feeding like people and other heroes to her to keep her alive.
Yeah.
Vision was never really like even in WandaVision, like he was close with his kids, but never like Wanda. Yeah. What if he fed the kids to her? Oh. See, I told you it was dark, man. Yeah. Like, but I mean,
So
that would explain why they're calling out.
So I have a shower that the LED changes colors to the temperature. It's weird. It's not like blue, green, red. It's green for cold for whatever reason, blue for mild temperature, red for hot, and then it starts blinking red when it's scalding hot. I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
need that to take a shower after thinking about that thought.
Like,
That's very like,
but
oh,
I mean, think about it, because they said like those kids exist almost in every universe. So where were they there?
And is there a universe where Wanda manages to balance her home life with the boys and like actual Scarlet Witch, not just having powers?
Well, I mean, to be fair, the doppelganger one that she tried to take over in the other universe still had powers.
Yeah, no, like
She wasn't the
I
Scarlet
know, I
Witch,
know
but she still had the mutant powers.
right, and she still had the powers, and I know that, but I'm curious as to whether like she has that actual Scarlet Witch alter ego.
Yeah, I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
I think
Like
that was a missed opportunity. Was when like
I'm just
America
curious
Chavez.
if that's something that
yeah, I know.
that happens in one of them, if that's ever going to be a thing. That's just a curiosity.
I think they missed an opportunity when America Chavez like brought her into that universe in front of the kids and like scared the kids. Would they? I think they missed an opportunity to see the kids use their superpowers on the Scarlet
Yeah.
Witch defending their mom after she got
yeah,
thrown
that-
across the room.
That would have been so
yeah, to
cool.
see-
Her
to
own
see-
boys attacking
to
her,
see
that would've been-
Speed and Wiccan, yeah, do their thing.
Yeah.
But I because I think that would have broke her down more than them just like hiding in a corner from her. To see
Yeah.
them actually try to fight and she
But-
actually like fights them back.
And
or she like resists, and then her only instance of fighting back isn't even like a power. It's just like a force. Like maybe it just pushes
yeah,
them
and
to the
then
ground
and
or
knock her
something.
kids down, and that would break her. Like she
Yeah,
hurt her
like
own
they just
kids.
they just fall down though. Don't even get hurt, but they just like
Yeah.
fall down, and then they get scared and they're like scooting away.
Yeah.
See, like as a parent,
That
that is the part where I think that would have been more realistic because like
Yeah,
that would have destroyed you.
absolutely, absolutely, and especially because like, oh shit, my thingy fell out. Hold on, I'm messing shit up again. Don't mind me.
My thingy fell out. That's the cool To anyone who's listening and then driving off the side of the highway because they weren't watching.
But yeah, what were we saying?
It was again the whole interaction.
Oh
with the
yeah,
kids,
yeah. Any mother who has a boy knows that boy is going to protect her with his life,
Mhm.
even at a super young age. Even my 10-year-old has
Well, aren't they
told-
like 10? Weren't they like 10 in the movie?
Yeah, even my 10-year-old has been like, Mommy, if anyone tries to hurt you, I would jump in front of you to protect you.
He would. I like that kid.
Yeah. And then I'm just like, no, Squish, you are tiny. I protect you.
I think he tried to defend.
like,
I think he tried to defend you from a fart cloud for me once. I think he tried to karate chop that. But
Hey, that
not
can be
discuss
dangerous.
Because there'd be many agencies involved in that situation. It was accidental. I was walking by.
Yeah. But
But
see,
no-
that definitely
but-
would have hit closer to home is my point there. Like it definitely, if the boys tried to fight back, that definitely would have hit audiences a lot more
Yeah.
in the heart. And it also would have been a much higher emotional impact for Wanda when she realizes what she's
True.
actually doing.
What I took it from it was the children's perspective was mom's on one side and then mom and quite great fashion is on the other. And the instant confusion of like, what the fuck is going on? And like,
I have to disagree. Because once you know mom, that's mom.
So yeah, no, we know mom, but all of a sudden, like all of a sudden, where their TV was, they're enjoying their show. This doorway opens up that they don't know what the heck is going on.
Right.
Terrified children, and then all of a sudden this person looking like their mom comes through. You're like, what the like?
Honestly, I think at that age, I don't think it's gonna occur
Well,
to them.
well, their
that-
mother was also getting. I know you're talking about like protecting your mom, and they have superpowers, but I know there's a certain point where they realize their powers and they didn't during WandaVision.
Yeah.
Did they have it at that time? But I know they would run and protect mom.
Right.
But there's like it's really like
The-
I'm not trying to
the
argue
thing
with you.
is You're throwing in the confusion, and it makes sense because yes, it's their mom and their mom. But my point is, they don't see Scarlet Witch as mom. It's not even occurring to them.
So they just see like
that
they
this is just a monster
see-
that popped
they
into
see
their home and
Maleficent.
attacked their mom.
they're seeing Maleficent walk through in the real life,
Basically.
pretty much. And that's as a little kid, I'd be fucking petrified. I
Absolutely.
wouldn't know what to do.
See-
at that point.
Absolutely. It's a similar thing. Like if you're with someone that you know, and then someone who looks like them comes and attacks them, who the fuck cares if it looks like you? You got attacked.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and be like, you or you. I'm just gonna be like, I was with you here. You got attacked. I don't know who you are. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Don't hurt the person I love.
See, this is where the whole Vision not being there didn't make
Yeah.
sense either, because like
We've come
think
full
about it
circle.
in like WandaVision, if something happened to her, he like flew like a bat out of hell to get to her,
Oh, yeah.
and like, or even in the other movies, he always found a way to get to her.
Mhm.
You're telling me like an evil version of his wife busts through a multiverse freaking star portal, and he's just gonna be like, yeah, my kids are there, my wife's there, the one I do anything for.
It's like when
And-
Superman doesn't show up when evil Lois Lane comes from the Injustice League.
Yeah, like, yeah, I don't know. It's just plot holes, man.
There's a lot of plot holes that we're going to be filling in. We already know we got the Secret Wars potentially coming up at this point. Well, we also have that whole thing where we have the same writer for this film and Loki, and he explained there's two different plots going on now. There's the broken timeline, which is one thing. Kang's doing that. And then there's the broken multiverse. They're two separate things. They're not the same as one. They're two separate things. So we have a broken like everything going on right now. While people are broken as themselves and mourning and trying to figure out their place in the world, like we saw with like Spider-Man 2, like before we got to Spider-Man 3, when we got to Far From Home, where it kicked off from there.
Yep.
Him trying to find his way into the world, getting into that like level, and the trauma he had to separate from his love of his life and his best friend, and losing his only parental figure, like growing from that. But at the same time, now we have Doctor Strange, who's grown from like the person I admitted I can love every dimension, I can't love anymore, who's now getting set up potentially with his comic book wife, so people won't know that. And then you have all these little things of people who are broken, and like we talk about like Falcon and the Winter Soldier and racism and everything, and also Winter Soldier himself broken and trying to re-heal. It's all these people trying to re-heal from the wounds of everything, kind of like licking the wounds after the big battle of Endgame. So that's what we're seeing at the beginning of all this, is kind of like everyone trying to like rebuild and regrow and develop and everything. And I think that's gonna be interesting with Wakanda Forever coming up, because our Black Panther is gone, and that's going to be acknowledged, and that's like far down. And at the same time, we got Thor, who's walking away from being King of Asgard, from being a superhero and just being his own guy. You got a lot of people just like trying to develop their own new lives. Everyone's trying to grow from the destruction instead of like the path they think they're supposed to be on to the path they're on now. Same thing with Moon Knight. We've seen that as well. With Hawkeye finally like put to rest with everything with Ronan. Like there's so much great storytelling we're seeing with the MCU of everyone trying to develop all this, but where's the chaos going? You were
To
saying,
be
Carl?
fair, they did say like Michael B. Jordan is signed on for a couple more movies. So I mean,
It's
so I mean,
Superman.
That makes
so
me
I'm
sad.
just like,
He's my
Are we-
black Superman.
well, hey, that could happen.
I
That
know.
might be why they signed him on, though, as they want to prevent him from becoming Superman.
Potentially so. And that
Yeah.
might be for the better. It might be for the better.
Oh,
For all of humans.
His version of Killmonger, like I'd be fine if he never becomes Black Panther. Just let him be Killmonger.
Yeah.
Like I am perfectly fine with that. Like let him become the, chaotic good
Kind of
version
like
of that.
I am
kind of like
disappointed
Loki.
that he died in
Yeah, me too.
Panther.
But the fact
I
that
wish he stuck
I,
around.
I love the death scene though, that he still brought him up to see, those are the sunrise and sunset of Wakanda that his father promised him. That
Dude,
was like
I
such a
love
great
that
moment.
scene. I still hate that he died.
Yeah,
It would
I
have
know.
been awesome if it was like, no, fuck you, let me die, and he brought him up to the sunrise, and then like something happens, and he had like I don't even know what would be good
Well,
as
to me-
far as like
To me, it's
expectations,
it-
but like some
it-
kind of either redemption or betrayal or escape
To
or
me-
something where just Killmonger survives.
oh, you just want Killmonger.
I
to
just want
survive.
Killmonger alive.
Oh yeah,
in a
we
way
all
that
do.
makes
We all
sense.
do. We want
In a
Killmonger
way
to be
that
around.
makes sense.
We but I mean, hey, they got the herbs and everything, so who knows what? Or it's the multiverse and the multi timeline now.
Right,
We've got
exactly.
both come up. And just to give you an example before we wrap things up here, I'd like to just give a quick rundown of stuff coming up right now on the film versions. Right now, we have in July coming up. Right now, we got July 8th. We have Thor: Love and Thunder, which again is going to develop the whole "What's my new path" versus a God killer who's coming. Gore the God Butcher with Christian Bale. He may not be able to do so wrong. I don't know. Where? Actually, quick question, Carl.
Yeah.
On the scale of Carl Urban and Tom Hardy, where does Christian Bale land?
He's not quite that level.
He's like sub level.
Yeah. He's like if
It
they're
was
like
it was
if they're like
Terminator.
the
It was
if they're like
Terminator
the
that terminated.
yeah, I mean if he's like A level if he's like an if those guys are the A level guys,
Yeah.
then he's like B minus C plus kind of.
Yeah. To anyone who doesn't know, Tom Hardy, who is behind me, and we have a church developed him because he can do no wrong. And then later on, we realized Carl Urban is like, oh my God, that's his antithesis. That's like they're going to
The
battle.
yin and yang.
Patreon donate to the Church of Tom Hardy.
Yeah, the Church of Tom Hardy. Yes, please, praise be. As he's glistening with his aura behind me. So we got Thor: Love and Thunder in July. We got Wakanda Forever, of course, in November. And we had a do-si-do, a switch of films next year. Now we have Ant-Man and Wasp and the Quantum Mania with Kang the Conqueror. So we're going next thing we're going to know of anything with Kang since Loki and Sylvie was and that's why I call the show. It's not Loki, it's Loki and Sylvie at this point to me. But it's going to be in February of next year. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is the final Guardians film. That's going to be the send-off with everybody, which I just only wish I told Carl this. I just want, of course, we know the voice of Groot is
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel. I just want him, because all he says is, I am Groot, I am Groot, I am Groot. First time he speaks any other language, he turns to the camera at the end and goes, family.
But it says it in his voice.
Yep, he says it in his voice, family, just to complete the whole Fast series.
Driving off in a Charger.
That would just be the end of it. He drives off in a Charger. Oh yeah. So and then of course we have the Marvels in July, and then we have Fantastic Four. We have Blade unannounced timelines. We have Deadpool 3 that's already in getting into pre-production now. So we got those films. And when it comes to the shows, we still have on the decks right here, we have Ms. Marvel on June 8th. So that's coming up. So June is going to be for Ms. Marvel. July is going to be for Thor. And then unannounced what months they're going to be. It's going to be She-Hulk. What If Season 2, which includes the 10th episode we never got to see because of the pandemic. Yep. Then we have the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special they already filmed, which is supposed to be a Christmas special, which is great. But before that, we still have potentially this October, Werewolf by Midnight. Was it Werewolf by Midnight? Why am I being so stupid right now? Is it Werewolf by Midnight? Why am I not? I'm late. It is late right now. I'm very tired. Um, but yeah, we got the werewolf film. Then we have Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. We have Secret Invasion that they're already filming right now. With Samuel L. Jackson and the whole cast. We got Agatha House of Harkness. We got the Armor War series, which continue on what happens to Tony Stark's technology. We have the Echo series that's going to continue. We got Ironheart. And then apparently there's 10 more in the can for the TV series, not including the films, which they have a dozen more already. Like, they're going in so many directions, but able to fill it all in. So I figure with the multiverse and the multi-timeline break, this is where they're going to be able to fill everything in, and it's all going to pull together in a big, maybe battle world. What do you think, Carl?
Yeah, no, I agree. And like one movie that has already been announced, we just don't know what timeline yet, is Captain America 4
Yeah,
with
Captain America 4,
Anthony
yes.
Mackie. And they did hint that Chris Evans would come back. But because of the whole multiverse and timeline stuff, I know it would be like a wet dream to get Captain Hydra.
Ooh, child. Okay, no, the Hail Hydra that we really want. The elevator Hail Hydra was still fucking amazing. But let's get the Captain Hydra. I love that. I thought you were gonna say let's get Johnny Storm all.
Oh no, I went a step further.
Yeah. And also, I almost forgot the Wakanda like TV series. We're gonna get the tribe, the actual the honor guard with the Koya. Yeah, we're gonna get like their own series as well. So we're gonna wrap this up here. We love Doctor Strange 2. We got a lot of theories. We got a lot of things we appreciate. A lot of things a lot of things are great. Everything was awesome. I think overall we enjoyed ourselves, and I think that because of this conversation, we really fucking enjoyed it. No matter how much you rate this movie, the fact that we're engaged in so many theories. I love the like with the Ice Princess, Hans Christian Andersen. That was a great thing because that like I'm sitting in traffic with that rotating in my brain the whole time, sitting there going, "She's
Oh
not
shit,
wrong."
I forgot to bring up one thing
What's
that I
that?
mentioned in the other one. The music.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
whole
the music's
music.
fun.
Let me just say real quick, anyone who did read Hans Christian Andersen's Ice Queen, let me know if you think that I'm like how far off I am. Really, because obviously they're not exact parallels. But again, I didn't actually read it. I just heard the in-depth analysis, and I kind of made the two connections on my own. So anyone who knows the story better than I do,
So you got the spark from the notes. So
I got the
speak.
spark from the notes. I read the cliff notes and I got a little bit of a spark there, but yeah, definitely someone let me know.
Yeah, please.
What you think.
Yeah, please put in
if
the
I'm way
comments.
off, let me know that too. I will take the L on that. I'm totally okay with it.
Yeah, I'll put in the comments because that was a really great theory. And you were talking about the music. So the music scene, let's go wrap that up real quick.
Yes, oh my god.
So Carl,
Yeah.
lay into it.
Yeah, so no, like, cause I was thinking about it when I got home last night, and one show that loved when it came out was Heroes, and it got
Yes.
worse as it went on. Do you remember in season 4, he met that girl who
Wait.
could see the music and use the music as weapon, like use
Are you
all the
talking
notes
about
in the.
that season that came out a lot later on? Season 4?
No, no, this is the one like that is still like going like after the writer's strike and everything.
I remember to season 3 with the carnival where Ray Park was in that.
No, but they did. He like his I remember his Milo's character there. You know how he could like absorb mutants' powers?
Yeah.
He absorbed this girl who could actually see music and use
I
like
never
the
saw
notes
that.
in the air to
No, I
like
know.
fight with, kind of like it's like Doctor Strange kind of stole that, but it was like that exact kind of thing. I'll send you I'll send you like if I find a clip on YouTube or something,
Yeah.
I'll shoot it over to you. But like,
please do, because I was thinking a similar scenario to what they were doing with what they referenced in Infinity War between Thanos and Doctor Strange when they were doing that dual battle with each other on Titan was similar to what they did with Strange versus Strange here, which was I forget was it the Raven? I think it was the Raven with Vincent Price. It was a young Jack Nicholson was in it too, where like that they had a dueling back and forth, but instead it was musical notes. But I felt it was like Disney-esque where they had like the colorful like notes were like weapons against each other. And I love that one scene where like he just whips the harp and that one little notes and just floats off, and just like it's that one little bubble that pops and screws everything up.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned to you both, I go, the first thing I want to talk about the Christ was that scene. I was like, I imagined because like there was all musically done. Like I heard Phantom of the Opera, I heard a couple other musicals in
Oh
there.
yeah.
Was I just pictured them coming up to sitting with Danny Elfman across and then going across the thing going. So we have this one scene, and here's the music you're gonna do for it. And he's like, I'm gonna do the fuck what? I just picture him going, Jesus, yeah, I'll like rolls up his sleeves like,
All right,
let's
accepted.
do it, and here we fucking go. And so we're gonna have dueling musicians between like the sorceress together. It's like, shit.
I love how chaotic it was too. Like they're attacking each other with music.
But the
and
music
you hear
fits
the
the fight.
chaos. You hear the chaos. You hear the music going.
like lands on the piano. And
Exactly. You hear the impact, and it works. That whole scene was just so good.
it was the dumbest, greatest thing I've ever seen in my fucking
Yeah.
life. And I was like, no one could ever have thought about this ever and like ever could recreate it. This was perfect.
Yep.
You have like good versus evil of one man's personality. And it's a musical duel fight. You know what it was? It was a live action version of Donald Duck versus Daffy Duck and Who Framed Roger Rabbit on the scene. That's exactly what it was. I put it down. I'm stamping it down. I refute anybody who tries to notarize my stamp right here. I put it in the mail. I'm sending it to every country in the world to let them know I'm gonna rocket it to space right with Elon Musk's like Corvette he throws up the next time up there. You know what? That's the end of my story. That's it. I think I'm done.
Well, I've needed
Yes.
water for the last hour, so I will be right back.
All right. Well, all right. Let's
Go ahead
we'll,
and wrap up.
we'll wrap up with Carl here. So, Carl, I want your last minute commentary. Anything else you want to throw into the review of the spoiler section? We're just going over time, and I don't fucking care. We're having a great time. This is the
So like I mentioned this in the non-spoiler version, but I really want Sam Raimi to stay on and do
100%.
like I said, Ghost Rider. I want a Ghost Rider movie now. Like he could, like, think about it. How many times in WandaVision and all this stuff we're like, oh, it's Mephisto.
Yeah.
Actually bring it. Have a guy that can because now they showed you can let a guy do this. And apparently Disney's like, we'll find a way to make it PG-13 enough.
Sam Raimi's the way to do it. And the best part is we actually saw one of the dimensions they went through was hell. When they flew through it, and you saw the skeletons crawling up and like trying to grab at them when they went through. And I thought that I saw at like one quick scene at the end. I thought I saw Mustafar from Star Wars for real quick. I was like, wait a minute, bring that back. I think that's gonna. Everyone always talks about that one scene in a movie you have to stop and replay slowly, like Jessica Rabbit flinging out of the car that everyone wants to see her. No, that's that scene with all them flowing through the dimensions, like Savage Land and the.
I was gonna say you saw the dinosaurs in one, like
yeah. That was I was like, oh my god, that's a Savage Land. That's exactly what I thought of. And then there's the watercolor one. There's the silly cartoon one, and the watercolor one. I think we all fucking love the splash paint.
Yeah.
Was the cartoon one supposed to be like the what if kind of universe telling?
That was
Like
what I was
I don't know. There
wondering.
was one that sounded like Looney Tunes because they had like the sound effects and
Yeah, it
like
had that.
they had that going up. They went through so many wild shit. I was like that's the big thing for the fans to sit there going slowly clip by clip. I got to see frame by frame.
well, because there was that one where like they were like stuck underwater. Like you could see
that
it,
was
like
Avatar: The Way of Water. And
oh god. Well,
I'm sorry. That's a shitty title. I hate that title. People made it sounds like there's The Shape of Water. Now there's The Way of Water.
I hated The Shape of Water.
It looks like a great film, but yeah, I'll watch it. But the title's fucking awful. I'm sorry.
it's Avatar 2. That's it. It's Avatar 2.
Avatar 2: Return of Humans. But no, again, as you mentioned before, the music, like everything visually of this fucking movie was over the top. Sam Raimi, like, not only said, "Here's my shit. Here's how we can do it better," and just leveled up like what Taika Waititi did. Sam Raimi went, I'll raise you one. That's what I felt was like, I'll raise
Oh,
you.
ultimate Evil Dead moment
Yeah.
is when they're running for Wanda and they're
Mhm.
trying to like hide by covering all the mirrors and everything. And she comes
The
out of the
gong.
gong
The gong where
and
she
then
just
she's like, yeah, she's all twisted and everything. I was
I
like, God, I
That
was like,
was
that gave me the true
amazing.
Evil Dead kind of creep feel
I
right
didn't
there.
see
Like,
Evil Dead, but even not understanding the reference, that was incredible.
that was pure samurai. I geeked out to that when she's twisting her limbs. And I still love like the deadites that were wrapping around like zombie strange or Frankenstrange as
oh,
I also heard.
you mean his cape?
Yeah, like the cape he built on was great, and like I love that. And even when they like she's trying to escape their bubble, she's like, "No, I love that whole Deadites thing. I just wish they had Wanda like lift up one of the puddles as one of the deads, from underneath the floorboards in Evil Dead.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I would have shit my pants and
And you
had
just see her with like instead of like just like the regular eyes, just the red eyes, just staring, like
yeah,
smiling.
I would have turned around and been like, Danny, I have to leave. You'll notice a smell, and there's a reason why, and I'll have to explain later. I would have literally shit my pants, excitement and in fear, and been like, I need to go. Do you want some more popcorn? I'll be right back. Like, scoot, scoot, scoot. I'll have to put crotch to people. Oh god, who do I put my ass to? I don't know. But yeah, no, if they did full Deadeye on that, but they did like a lot like that whole Deadite feeling. It was, oh my god, it was so fucking great that way. But
That was.
but yeah, we'll wrap it up here. Again, we go a little over time, but I love it because we have these great conversations. So it's probably going to be 2 videos now, just to break things up. Absolutely loved Doctor Strange 2. What I think about this, the more we talked about it, it's like one of those movies, like those movies you watch, you go, this is so bad, but then when you watch it with your mates over and over again, you go, I fucking have a love for this, and that's cult horror, and that's what Sam Raimi was, is cult horror. So he made cult horror MCU, where you go, even people are probably most likely gonna be like, you know what, I was not a big fan of this, and then later on rewatch this going, I had a great fucking time sitting with all my friends watching this shit, laughing my ass off, at all this. I think that's what it's gonna be. It's even though it's already above cult horror level, like it's great quality as is. I think that's what's going to become is MCU cult horror in
The,
itself.
this might be an unpopular opinion with some people, but I will say that this movie is better than any of his Spider-Man movies that he filmed.
Agreed.
Now, like I don't know,
Which
it's hard to say if it's better than
He did all the Tobys 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, yeah, I
The
can see
originals.
that.
Yeah.
yeah. Like now, I don't know if it's better than like any of the Evil Deads or like Army of Darkness, any of that, but like it's definitely better than the Spider-Man films.
This to
It's
me
his
was
best. It's his best superhero film.
this is like his harmonious composition of like at the beginning, like with the Shuma Gorath fight and everything, and seeing just the whips of the cameras and the fights. I was like especially with like Strange jumping off the balcony from the wedding and coming into it. I was like, I felt very much Spider-Man shit. And then he's just like, here we go into Army of Darkness, Evil Dead, and Drag Me to Hell. Like the one sorceress who like stabbed, the dark hold, and she died. I was like, that's so Drag Me to Hell death that she just did. I was like, holy I didn't know they were going to that level. But yeah, like the blood, the violence, the brutality of death. Let's start with that number one. The jump scares, the spooks, the demons, the death, like the from hell.
What are you saying? Start with like we haven't been talking.
No, I'm saying no. I'm talking about the start of like this going down, like down into this other realm of like all of this wrapped around with the comedy and the soft moments of like Doctor Strange with Christine and dealing with that.
Yep.
America Chavez with her parents, Wanda with her kids. There's this constant thing, the question of exempt. We talk about happiness. Where is your happiness? Where is your comfort zone of acceptance? And that's what comes down to accept. Where's your happiness? It's about acceptance. It's acceptance that he loves Christine. That's the truth, but he can never be with her. That Wanda, as much as she loves her kids, she's not to be with them because exactly. And then of course with America Chavez is that as much as she wants to be with parents, she'll see them soon. It's just not meant to be now. Otherwise she would teleport to them. It's not meant to be now.
Right.
But Dr. Strange goes, they're out there. So it creates that hope, you know.
See,
It's that hope that she's where Doctor Strange doesn't need hope anymore, where Wanda doesn't need hope anymore. America Chavez has that hope
Yeah.
because there is that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. There is something but with them, they're trying to rush everything, like we talked about with What If, with like Doctor Strange, like trying to fix and save Christine
Yeah.
is not meant to be, not meant to be. She now learned right now is not meant to be with her parents, but soon. Don't hold that knife. Don't try to grab a dark hold or the Book of Vishanti. Don't try to reach for it. Take your time, work on yourself. You will get the happiness you deserve.
And I do want to say that I love that Strange got his own moment like that. You were saying that the acceptance that he can't be with Christine. That was honestly a really satisfying ending for him, seeing him like walk out of his house, you know, like fix up his shirt and just go for a walk. And just smile at the world around him, you know, and he's just enjoying his life.
They should have played
Like,
Tiny
yeah.
Tim's having a wonderful time when he came out.
Right, exactly.
and then
Like,
his third eye came out. You know, he fell to the
Yeah.
ground in pain. So
I mean, it was nice while it lasted.
And then he played
Oh.
Soulfly's Eye for an Eye.
Yeah.
It was like,
but
So, yeah, you're not wrong. The third eye came out and fucked shit up, but my point is like I like that he kind of had that acceptance, because a lot of times it's like, not to get into too much into toxic masculinity, but a lot of times when someone likes someone else, they get told, oh, don't give up. You know, they're like, oh, just show them what a good partner you can be, or, you know, just be their friend until they realize you're their true love, you know, something like that. And I like that he didn't do that he kind of had this like, you know what, it's fine. And he just kind of, he tries to enjoy his life before the third eye
It's true.
appears. But
and
yeah.
I love that moment where he puts faith in her to put faith in him, going, you know, you said I'm not the bad guy. And the whole thing is, everyone tells me in every universe I'm the bad guy. He accepts his demons and approves that he is not the bad guy.
Exactly. Yep.
He puts his faith in her, and her faith and his faith in her is the first time she has confidence in herself to then go, oh, I got this. And she starts star punching that Scarlet bitch in the face, you know, like, holy shit.
Exactly.
Like one thing they brought up, sorry, before we wrap up, one of the things they said with the brothers, you know, the directors for Endgame and Infinity War, they go, who's the most powerful Avenger? And they went, everyone agreed, and then go, Scarlet Witch is. She just hasn't realized her power yet. And you know, because you're just ripping off Thanos' armor like it's just like fucking nothing, you know. And if she knew better, she could have, you know, protected herself and just ended it all.
Yeah.
But now we have America Chavez, who just star punched the shit out of Scarlet Witch, you know, like this. And the thing is, both of them, all right, so Scarlet Witch is a Nexus being, so she can exist in any timeline. That's a timeline thing, kind of thing. And then there's America Chavez, who can exist in any multi-universe because there's no replicas of hers, because she lives in a utopia, which is its own existence outside of the multiverse. So now we got this yin and yang, you know, together. But now we have the yang is temporarily down and the yin is now growing. What we can imagine from here as fans, what the fuck they're going to do. But Kevin Feige, the crazy son of a bitch he is, has got 10 years ahead on films and episodes coming our way, all of them filming right now, and we have no idea what coming our way, because we thought we knew what was coming, and we don't. But we have a good idea, but we don't know the hills, the forests, the scary mountains, the trolls, the goblins, everything along the way we're going to encounter. So as the hobbits we are, we're just going to endure the shit going through.
Well, to be fair, remember when Endgame came out and we sat there, we're like, oh, we know, because we know all these Marvel villains and characters they could go with, but we're like, really, how much are they really going to keep us vested in this? Like, how is this going to keep going? Like, I'm like, we had this huge build up to Thanos, and like it took all this time, and now we're right back in it and sitting here like, all right, when's King the Conqueror coming? When are we gonna get Galactus? Where's Doom? Like,
Doom is another one.
like,
Fucking with Secret Wars. Where's Doom? Fuck. Oh my god. There's so much darkness in the weight, and they're just staying in the shadows so we don't see
but
them. Because
Doom is one is gonna take like 10 years to build up on
yeah.
his own. Like,
Here's a good way to think about it.
is that who the main bad guy is gonna be for the next 10 years?
Think about this. The MCU right now, we're in this realm of what devils sit in the darkness watching us fighting our own demons.
Victor Von Doom.
Fuck, dude, here we are. Like, it's coming around. It absolutely is. And then when Galactus shows up, shit, we're gonna need Doom.
No.
We'll be like, sir. I'm sorry for your face, number one. Number two. But yeah, no, I want to thank you both again for joining us. This is fucking awesome. We've got even more theories and discussion. This is something we want to continue on with PodCAK. We went way over time, but again, this is a film that, like, even though in 2 hours encroached like hours and hours in depth of conversation that you could go into, not only with the what ifs of what's going to be going on, the predictabilities, but what we absorbed and what we took out of it, which I fucking loved about it. Everyone had the whole thing. And also, I wanted to get to this too, and I feel bad we didn't get to it, was, and I just, real quick, in brief, just your reaction, Dani, because when I heard this, and this is a looked over moment in this film, I think, it's the ice cream song. Like, I felt,
I'll get into that another time.
I felt your spirit in the air immediately, and I grabbed onto you.
The short of it is that my heart did melt because I also have a 10-year-old son who is just as goofy and adorable.
He is.
If not more so, because he is my son. And that's every parent's attitude is their kid is the cutest. So I am no different. My son is the cutest. But
anyone who's a grandparent, like an awesome parent, when you get to the ice cream song, like, I want to hear if in the comments you've seen the movie and you saw the ice cream song, please let me know if you responded to that and how you did. Because I literally had a wad of napkins and I grabbed her arm because immediately as they were doing this, I was like, I know where this is going. Like, slowly going, here you go, Dom. Like, here you go. Like, there's a heartfelt moment. But like I said, we had a lot of great moments. Everything affected us in good ways, not so many negative, bad ways, which is a great thing. Learn a lesson or two, Warner Brothers. But although we got our childhood stuff was touched to us, our emotional, personal selves were felt. They hit a lot of things and a lot of people, including gut punches and also tickling our buttholes with horror, like jump scares and everything in between. They made us get out of our seat. Overall, I think we all agreed this was a great film. I want to thank you both again. I'd love to have you both again for Thor, Love and Thunder Thighs, and because you gotta love some Thunder Thighs. Yeah, squeeze my head to death. Anyways, we'll not do some ASMR right now. I just want to say thank you again here at PodCAK for joining us. Please send us some comments, any messages, any cool things you want us to cover, anything in between. Again, everything's free on patreon.com/CAK. THECAK, but you can start for donating $1 a day, as Rob Zombie says, feed the gods. We're not gods, but we need to be fed. We're more like the DOG version. We're the dogs over here. So I want to send off for everyone on behalf of Carl Phillipo. Say,
hey, thanks for having me, and have a good night, guys.
Thank you. And for Dani Ray.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I had a lot of fun.
Excellent. And from the Pharaoh Fantabulous, stay rad, my rad cats. And we'll see you very soon here on PodCAK with episodes of Intrigued, more interviews, more reviews, and everything fantastic and fiendish in between. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.